Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. This is the English class. We will start with, this is Traveler 6, Module 3, Unit 5, page 61 in your student books. As we have started with the module, module number 3, Body and Mind. Unit 5 is about the mind. Open your books on page 61. So we will start with the idea here, collocations. What are the collocations? Collocations are two or more words that are usually used together. So we have two words that we use them together and sound natural to native speakers of English. So when you use these collocations, it comes as if you were a native speaker. It is just to make you much more advanced in your English. For example, the famous phrase fast food. The fast food. So fast food is a collocation, two words, adjective and a noun, and it is a collocation. Let's check. We have here some adjectives here: common, mental, strong, vivid, lasting, stimulating, wide, and burning. And here we will match them with these nouns. So an adjective and a noun. Number one, common sense. Common sense is something that is logical. Everyone knows about it. Mental power. The power or the strength of your mind. Strong, then strong influence. If someone is having an influence into you, an effect, we would say he had a strong influence. Vivid means lively, something as if it were live. A vivid imagination. So we said in our last lesson that Leonardo da Vinci had a vivid imagination. He just like children, they have vivid imagination. A lasting, which is long, a long impression. So you still have it for a long time. Stimulating environment. So an environment that makes you work much more. Then wide, number 7. Wide range, so we have many choices, and a burning desire. If you want something so bad, you would say it is a burning desire. So common sense, mental power, until burning desire. Let's answer based on this. You will complete these sentences. The same page 61. Exercise B. Complete the sentences with collocations from the previous exercise. So based on these answers, you will complete the sentences here. My first teacher made on me, an effect, an impression. So we would say a lasting impression. She was my teacher and I still have that impression. Our facilities offer of activities. There are many, so a wide range. There are many. So we have hiking, swimming with sharks. So we have many activities. Mustafa has to succeed as a writer, a burning desire. He wants to succeed. He is working so hard. Number 4, many people believe that certain color can create in the room. So if you paint your room in red or white, it will have a stimulating environment. The general environment, the feeling will be stimulating. It would make you work. Some years ago, people used to rely on IQ tests to estimate the IQ is for intelligence, so their mental power. They want to know how smart they are, how strong is their mental power. Teachers usually have on their students. Teachers have strong influence. They influence them whether positively or negatively. Dalen has such that sometimes I wonder where he gets his ideas from. He is creative, so a vivid imagination. He imagines things that are not there. It is only that you don't leave the lights off when you are not at home. So this is common sense. Everyone knows. This is logic. Everyone knows how to do it. So if you use these collocations, it would sound like as if you were similar to native speakers. Let's go to the grammar part, which is about reporting, but this time not a statement, not a command. We will report a question. So, with the examples below, reporting some of the interviewer's questions in the radio program that you heard in the listening section. What were the interviewer's actual questions? So, we will write the direct questions, the direct ones. The interviewer asked how Leonardo da Vinci had enriched himself to develop greater intelligence. So, he asked, this is the question, how did Leonardo da Vinci enrich himself? So, enrich and did. Enrich himself to develop greater intelligence. So, it's a question, so you have to divide the verb from the helping verb, the tense from the action. Interviewer asked if or whether, this is a yes-no question, Einstein's genius had shown itself in early childhood. So, yes-no question, no WH question word. So, did Einstein's genius show itself in early childhood? So, we don't have a WH question word. This one? Okay, so let's try to answer these questions. Which verb is used to introduce the reported question? How can we start? How can we would say he said, he told me? No, we can say he asked me, they asked me, they were wondering. Which words do the reported question begin with? So the words begin with whether, how, a WH question word. If it is a yes, no question, so we would use whether, F or whether. F or whether, it's optional, you can use both of them. Are the verbs in reported question in affirmative or question form? They are in the question in affirmative form. So, a reported question is not a question, by the way, it is a sentence, and we will come to this one in a minute. What other verbs do we use to introduce reported question other than ask? You can say, I was wondering, I wanted to know, and many other things. And we start with this verb just to show that this question, it is reported rather than a question. You can refer for more information to page 134, which is going to enrich you much more. But let's go here. I want you to take a picture of this one, which is summarizing how to report a question. Questions are of two kinds, whether a WH question or a yes-no question. A WH question, it starts with a WH question word, then a verb, then we will have a verb, then we will have the subject. So, where is Mark? WH question word, verb, then we have the subject. But for the yes-no question, we just start with the verb and then the subject. So, is this Mark? Is this Mark? So, instead of the WH question word, we omitted it and we started with the helping verb. Okay, let's report each one of these. He asked me and he asked me, because this one is a question. Then here we started with a where, the same WH question word that we have. Where, who, how, whatever the word is. Mark was. So we change the order, is Mark, then is, and we changed the is into the past. Where Mark was. Again here, the same thing. He asked me, the same as here. Instead, we need something to show that this is a question. So you can use F or whether. F, that was Mark. This became a that. Then we change the order. This is, so this is or that is. This one is going to be in the past. One tense backward. That was Mark. So this is the summary. Someone asked me. Someone asked. Yes, no question. WH question. Subject, verb, then we have an object. Okay, this is going to summarize everything for you. Let's go ahead. Here, the same page 61, rewrite the question in reported speech. So you will go one tense backward, present, past, will, would. You will go 1 tense backward. What time is, so this one's going to be was, the ferry expected to arrive from Malta? Asked how, half. So we will say half asked, then we can change it into a sentence. Half asked, what, we have it here. What time the ferry, so not is, you will take the is there. The ferry, and you will change 1 tense backward. Is going to be was expected to arrive from Malta. So we did 3 things. You start with the correct introduction, WH question word because we have it here. Then you will change it into a sentence. The ferry is, we switched it. Then the present into past. 2. When did you visit the States? Past. You will change it into 1 tense backward, past perfect. This is an easy one because it is a WH question. Terry asked Bill. So Terry asked Bill, WH, when, then you, so he's Terry, he had visited. Instead of visited, we will use had visited the States. Can you tell me that can you tell the twins apart? Tina asked me. So Tina asked me, yes, no question. So if or whether, if I can will be could tell the twins apart. And we have to focus here, we have a full stop because this is a sentence, it is not a question. Why are you going to buy another pair of jeans? Why, you will use it, are is going to be was or where. So Peter asked Bill, why, then you, because he's Bill, so he, are is going to be in the past, was, he was going to buy another pair of jeans, full stop. Peter asked Bill, correct introduction, WH question word, then we will change it into a sentence. He is into he was going to buy a new pair. Do you remember the name of the restaurant where Andy works? This is a yes no question, started with do. Ask George. George asked, yes no question, so if or whether, then you is going to be I. I remembered the name of the restaurant where Andy worked. Present, here we have past. Remember, then remembered. Okay. Why are you reading an old newspaper? Claire asked Gemma. So Claire asked Gemma, why? The same thing, WH question word. You, she's Gemma. She was, instead of are, we use the was, reading an old newspaper. Who gave 7? Who gave you permission to use my computer? Mr. Jackson asked Michelle. Mr. Jason asked Michelle, WH question word, the same, who, then, gave, past, it's going to be past perfect, had given him permission to use Mr. Jackson's computer or his computer. Will I ever be rich? This is a yes no question, started with will. Will is going to be would. So David wondered if or whether, you can choose one of them. He will is going to be he would ever be rich. So following the same order. Now let's check your workbooks on page 43. Page 43 in your workbooks. It will be, yes, page 43 in your workbooks. We will write the sentences in Newported speech. Are you taking your little brother to the circus? Mario asked me. Now, then we will change it. If, because it's a yes no question, I was taking my little brother to the circus. When will I go on holiday? George wondered, WH question word, when he would go on holiday. Well into would. Have you ever been to Indian restaurant, Matthew? Kevin asked Matthew. Then, yes, no question. If or whether, have and to had ever been to an Indian restaurant. Why did you arrive late for work? Asked my boss. My boss wanted to know why, we have it here, why I had arrived late. Past into past perfect, had arrived late for work. What time does the football game start? WH question word. I asked Alex what time, then the football game started, present into past, and we changed the order. Do you buy a newspaper every day, Rida? Asked John. John asked Rida, then yes, no question, if or whether he bought, present into past, a newspaper every day. Number 7, and the last one. How does the computer turn off? I asked Michelle. Yes, I asked Michelle. Then, how the computer turned off. So, present, turn into turned. So, to summarize this, you will go 1 tense backward and you will change it into a sentence. That was all for today. Thank you for your time and see you tomorrow.